Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Vanilla Heroes. This is actually my second time recording this because I was watching back over the footage for what was gonna be the beginning of this episode, and I just wasn't happy with it. It didn't have any energy behind it, just a really sleepy dive shark recording. So I wanted to start off with what everyone's questions have been on YouTube, which is how much iron does that iron farm actually create. I AFK'd at it for just over a day, and this is kind of a gauge of it. I mean, I've got the shulker box down here. We've got 9 in there, so that's 10 there. 2 hoppers in the back, so 20. And that looks like 60 shulker boxes worth of iron in one day. Yeah, I don't think it's too shabby, and it's set us up perfectly for what is going to be today's episode. What I want to accomplish is to finally get this rid of on our floor. I mean, I can't find anything to save my life, and it's because everything's a mess. So what I want to do is actually begin work on our storage system. Now, I've been working on this for a while in our single-player world, so I want to meet you guys over there real quick, and we're going to kind of discuss what's going to happen. Okay, so this I have teased a little bit on Twitter, but not a whole lot, and I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what we were looking at. What my thought is if we can fit 3 items on each thing, and I've been playing around with getting a storage system that actually works. This was my first attempt, and it turned out pretty bad. And so I went online to look into some other stuff, and I found a video from Minerva referencing a design by a guy named Doug that I'm not sure who it is, so sadly I can't reference him in the description, but I went very similarly with Doug's design just because it worked rather well. The only thing that I haven't figured out yet is this hopper right here. It's going to eat a lot of resources on the bottom end, so I might have to rearrange some stuff so more important items like redstone blocks don't get eaten up for a whole stack. But I think there's some potential there, so we'll have to look around with it. But overall, what we're looking at is this is 61 blocks wide, which is actually perfect because each of our flat walls on our bottom layer are 63 blocks wide, and that's magical. On top of that, we've got every item possible to obtain in-game here. There's a couple of them that I realized that I threw in that you can obtain, like tall grass and tall ferns, but I'm sure I can find something important enough to replace those. And today's episode is actually probably going to be mostly gathering, but if we can find the time in it, I want to actually make this. So let's head back to survival, and I'll start breaking down what the plan is for achieving this. Okay, so Naragal is gone, but she has helped me tremendously. It took us pretty much a whole day to finish this project, but we've managed to separate the items into how they will be in each slot, and also making signs saying what we're missing. Like, I need emerald blocks, I need some lapis ore, that sort of stuff. So the thing that I need to do now is really just going ahead and fetching all of it. I've been trying to balance how I'm going to do this because I'm going to do my best to fit the actual storage system into this. I want to be done with that, and once organization is out of the way, I think we're finally set for a point where the build and the farms are finally going to take a big progress. I didn't want to do something too early, and you guys saw it already. My mess was already way too much. So what I think the plan is going to be is I'm going to try my first montage. There's some things that we're missing. Notch apples, creeper head. Things like that I think are going to be a bit too difficult to actually get for the initial setup for this. So I'm probably going to leave those blank, put a filler piece inside of them, and have to figure out a way to put them in a spot that I can change later on. And yeah, I think we just need to get this kind of all knocked out, do a quick montage, and meet back up when it's time to actually build the system itself. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that montage. We got a lot of work done yesterday, from killing the dragon, the wither, taking down an ocean monument. There's been a lot of stuff happening, and with that said, we've actually managed to grab everything, which is honestly astounding. The two things we're missing, and it's slightly unfortunate, is we're missing notch apples, which I don't have a way of getting those. Like, that's just sheer luck. We've got to kind of start enjoying ourselves, and I'm keeping my head away from there because I got a bit ahead of myself. So we're missing notch apples, and we're also missing creeper heads. So I'm thinking creeper heads we might do next episode. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Notch apples honestly going to be luck, or buying them off of someone who has luck. Things that we have done also is we went ahead and dug out the area that the sorting system is going to go ahead and go into, as well as over here figuring out how we're going to hook it up to the bulk sorter. So I went ahead and cut out a little bit right there to where I could put a bubble vader to get it up there and some more. But I'm going to go ahead and hop into a time lapse of us building the first section. You can get a small glimpse of it off the corner. But it was a lot of fun, but it's a lot of resources. I'm going to have to go mining right now. We're honestly looking pretty pitiful on our redstone after that first build. And I will catch you guys after the time lapse. Alright guys, well we are back and we have finally finished this storage system. I think I'm on about 5 days of working on this thing between resource gathering and actually building it, working out the kinks and all of that stuff. And it's a monster. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. We ran into a couple issues where I left this like that with the gap and items were spewing off the side, and ran a sword through the system just to verify that there were no gaps in the system, like anywhere that something could have slipped into. But we got our fillers in, and we've got our one item in to start the system. And what I was going to do originally was throw everything into the system at the time of making it, but that wouldn't leave us any items to test it with. So what I'm going to do is actually end up running all of our items through the system itself. And from the look of it, it looks like we forgot to put stone bricks back here. So I'm going to have to fix that as well. But that being said, the time lapse doesn't do this justice. I mean, you can see how much goes into it, but it really doesn't. And I think something that would be fun to do is to look at our statistics. So my thought is you can always see weird things like 16 million mined, 33 million shoveled. That stuff's cool. Wait, is that 30? No, it's that. I'm dumb. Okay. But you can see cool things like 357,000 mined in stone. 124,000 in sand. Like there's some pretty hefty numbers there. But let's look down here. We used almost 5,000 granite throughout this, and all of you guys know that granite is only really used in our redstone contraptions. I've also used 4,000 hoppers, almost 5,000 chests with 11,000 made, 4,000 redstone used. There's some pretty crazy numbers in here. 1,600 repeaters used, 1,700 made, 1,500 comparators made and used. Like, not all of them went into the system, but we're only a couple months into this server, and we're already into pretty high figures. But that being said, we're pretty far along in this project, but we're not done. But unfortunately, I don't have enough time to finish this episode. We're already way too many days put into it as is. So what we need to figure out is how we're going to add in an input line. We need something that's going to start the system and get items over into that corner. We also need to figure out an overflow system. And I've got two options off the top of my head. Either overflow system is strictly this last section here, and we're going to keep it contained in shulkers, and then we can run it through the system again, and if it makes it back here, then it's probably done. Or we can make a small system back here where no one sees it, and it all goes into just some random chests, which I think would probably be better if a substantial amount of items get through. And aside from that, I think that would be this system done. So I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on if you think there's a way we can make that one slice work, or if we should come up with some other system for overflow. And also, if you guys have any ideas, I've got an idea of how to do the unload system, but I always appreciate opinions. So feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, and if you really enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe. This is only the start of our season on here on Vanilla Heroes, and I look forward to catching you guys in the next one. Have a good one.